Woo woo!
Okay. Hey guys. All right. So had a little bit of technical stuff going on, but I think we're live now. Hey y'all. This is Nicole with Stay Wild Child. We are on episode 24. And I have my friend Carrie who decided to join us today. And you know what, Carrie? I thought about saying your last name, and then I thought, oh, I might butcher that.
Just Carrie is fine. No, there's actually a really easy trick. It's like a horse says neigh, and then the name Alice. Nauyalis. Super easy. Yeah.
That is easy.
But it's just like there's so many vowels in there, like who's got time for that?
Right.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
What's the nationality?
It's Lithuanian.
Lithuanian. Okay.
Yeah. I can spot a telemarketer though, like a mile away. Not gonna lie. They're like, yeah, I got you.
Yeah. I love it. All right. So this is Carrie, and we are going to chat with her today. And I'm really excited about this. Carrie and I met a couple years ago, 2 or 3. Who knows? Time.
Right.
Yeah. So we met a couple years ago, and we did some meditation, creating magical retreats together. And I was instantly drawn to you, Carrie. You have such an intuitive spirit about you. And I was new, and you were just so friendly and so warm and so welcoming. So thank you, because, kind of when you start dipping your toe in this, you're a little like, ee! And then it's just always wonderful to have such genuine people who lead with their heart and can really make you feel warm in a situation, where you're a little nervous,
Well, sure. Well, it was instant as far as I could see your light right away. And it's just like, oh, she is a blast. Like, I don't even know if I can play as hard as she can, but I'm sure going to try.
Yeah. Yeah, that is my theme. That is my theme. Okay. So you are pretty new to our group, and so I wanted to tell you just a little bit about it. So it's Stay Wild Child, and actually I conceived this group on one of these meditation weekends.
I know. I feel like it's like full circle. I'm like, I was kind of there and witnessing it being born a little bit. So it feels like such an honor to like come full circle and be on your webcast and see all of the amazing things that you're doing and just how that vision, you've created it. And now you have this community of women that you're inspiring, and it has all of these different facets. And so get on with it, girl. You got it. You did it.
Thank you. Thank you. I really love the unfolding of it. It's been a real joy to watch. And when I interview my guests, and when we chat and we have our little discussion, I always kind of like to go back just a little bit to kind of where you were before, because you were like totally stepping into your magic. You're living intuitively. You are very intentional about your life. But let's kind of take it back just a little bit, because I think that sometimes we can get caught in these labels and definitions, of what it is to be a wife, a mother, a friend, an employee. And so I always like to take it back just a little bit, because was there a challenging point before that helped you have this awakening, or was there a direction that your life was heading in? I'll hush for just a minute and kind of just let you share just a bit.
Yeah, no, it's a critical question, because I think we, especially as women, a lot of times arrive at this space where we're like, how did I even get here? I spent 22 years working for the same software company. I was employee number 40 something, and they now have like 900 employees around the globe. And I loved it, and I loved help building that company, but it wasn't filling my bucket. I did a ton of traveling, and that was awesome in my 20s and 30s. I mean, I got to see the world. I mean, there's just every corner of the place. We had a client, and I was single and had a passport and ready to travel. And so I would get to go to these amazing, I had clients in Alaska, in Hawaii, in Singapore, Malaysia. I mean, just all over the globe. and it was an incredible adventure. And something shifted, like right around the end of my 30s. And I felt like I had left my soul in an overhead compartment somewhere over the Pacific. I was just lost. And it really got painful in a real way, in that, like, my friends stop inviting me places because they're like, oh, we assumed you were on the road. I'm like, I'm home. And I would go to conferences on behalf of this company, and they would call me, oh, Madam Company Name. I'm like, my name's Carrie, and I am this whole human. And so I just had kind of had enough, and I was so corporate. Oh, my brain. Bless my controlling business, masculine energy, rigid project schedule brain. And I could not really find my way out of it. And so um, after all of these years, I just up and quit without a job lined up, without anything but a plan. I had nothing. I didn't have a plan. I knew I had to reinvent myself, and I couldn't do it while I was still there. Phenomenal company. They are my family. There's, no, it was just me. I had given it all because I thought that that was what I was supposed to do. Like, I love the tagline, Nicole, of your group. It's like, remembering who you were before the world told you. I mean, it's just like, that is like my story. Like, I thought success was generating revenue for the company and rising through the corporate ladder and getting up and hustling and getting the accolades and the attaboys, and the spa treatments were kind of nice from the sales guys. So there was a lot of, there was a lot of bonus and fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I just had lost my soul in the middle of it. And so I up and quit without anything planned.
That's not that long ago, is it?
It's been 4 years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
4 years. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. They contracted back with me, which really helped give me some space and some control. So that's probably what you're
Yeah.
thinking.
Right. Okay.
But it was that time where I'm like, okay, what does a middle-aged woman who doesn't know what she wants to do? She gets a life coach. Hey.
Yes, and that's how we met each other, through Ellen.
Yeah.
And she worked with you at that same company, right?
No, I didn't work at that same company. I worked at a company in Austin. She was down in San Antonio, but through a mutual friend who worked there. So yeah. So I quit and started working with Ellen, and redesigned my entire life with love and truth and intention and purpose and fun. And I still fight that corporate mentality of it's hard work and it's a grind and you got to do the things and make the schedule. And then I'm like, oh, no, it doesn't have to be hard like that. It doesn't have to be a grind. And I get to do what I've always known that I was supposed to do, which was to inspire people and help people, especially with their finances. And so I'm doing a lot of financial coaching, both individually, newlyweds, and newly engaged couples. I've had a company hire me to do financial coaching for their employees as a benefit, which...
What a perk.
Oh my gosh, Nicole, like I'm not lying. I got certified with Dave Ramsey, if you know him.
Right.
And so I'm one of his financial coaches. And I'm like, oh, God, if there's just a way that there's a company that would pay me to provide this benefit, because if you're in debt, it's hard to ask them for money when they're trying to pay off their debt. January 3rd this year, got a phone call from a girlfriend of mine.
What if a company would hire me? You just put it out there.
I did, and it happened, and I am on fire. And I gotta tell you, Nicole, these employees are like in their 20s.
Yeah.
Oh, and I get to get my hands on them, and I incorporate a lot of magic in what I do, and And I think that I'm really learning that that is my sweet spot.
Sure.
You know, that people like Dave Ramsey and Susie Orman and T. Harv Eker, who I love and adore and have studied under, are awesome. They're good at the numbers, but what they're missing is the magic. And really going for what you would love and clearing out all of the underlying beliefs around money. Because
Absolutely.
if you've got a structure that doesn't serve you in holding on to money, you're going to make it and then lose it.
Right. Right.
So,
So talk a little bit, because you talked about that kind of work hard mentality, because, you know, it's the same thing that I grew up, you know, with as well.
yeah,
Are you a Virgo?
Cancer.
Cancer. Okay. Okay. For some reason, I thought we were the same sign. I don't know why, but so, you know, it's this ingrained belief system that we have. And so how did you incorporate magic into your life to step away from that belief system? And is it something that you're still, I always use that hashtag also, we're all just practicing together. So is it
Yes.
something that you're practicing at, or just kind of go over that just a little bit?
Yeah, I definitely think it's a journey. It's never going to be an arrival spot for me. I'm always learning and I'm always peeling back other layers of the onion. For me, it was a lot of intentionally saying out loud what I would love, like going into my heart. I was afraid to say it. I was afraid to name it and say it out loud. I was afraid I wouldn't get it or that it would be, you know, too controversial, like, you know, or, and heaven forbid, my parents, I mean, God bless them. They're like, you're a what? You quit a what? You know?
Right.
I get a little nervous about all of that, but you know, just to really go for it. And so it was about, for me, and in this same time in between quitting and that type of thing, I've also really strengthened my faith. And for me, intuition, you know, that is the God inside of me. We are all God. And
Right.
listening to that voice, whatever you call it, your gut, your intuition, your spirit, the Holy Spirit, whatever, doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Labels, meh.
Yeah.
But to literally train myself to turn off my brain
Mhm.
and turn on my heart.
Right.
And to get still and to listen. And that has taken a practice. Like if you ask my mom or my aunties, you know, it's like, she's going Mach 4 with her hair on fire. And I'm like, yeah, that's really usually how I run. But I am taking so much conscious time to design my life and to really be intentional, and to live on purpose and to be conscientious about how I spend my time, how I serve, how I give my heart into the world, how I serve myself. And through this process of, it's really examining, and this is what I help my coaching clients do, both financial coaching and creative coaching, is just to examine and shine a light on those beliefs, knowing that they've served us up until this point. They got
Right.
us here,
Sure.
and we may never get rid of them. And in fact, that is not the point. That's the
Right.
whole self-help industry that is like telling you you're broken and you need to be fixed, and here's the book on how to do it. Complete BS in my book. It is about getting still and honoring yourself and your truth. So,
And you said you said you're mid-40s.
yeah, I'm about to be 48. I'm not afraid to say it.
I know, right? Right. So isn't it interesting that we can truly be whoever we want to be, right? I mean, corporate America for 20 years, kind of most people would generalize that, well, you're going to retire corporate, right? You're going to have the 401k. You've got to live with this insurance that you've had this whole time.
Yeah.
That's your path. And that's just where you're going to stay, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and this is a totally different thing. You know, me with my aerial fitness that I do, that I love, right? It's play for me. But I went in, oh, women have weak arms, right? I don't have a dance background. I wasn't in gymnastics. And I just kept showing up for myself because it was something that filled my heart up.
Yes.
And if COVID wouldn't have happened, I would have been freaking performing. I mean, I'm like, it just blows your mind. I love like that, because I love the evidence of it, right? Like you've taken this whole shift and you're just creating this life, and like people can see it, right? Like it's right there in front of their eyes, and it's stepping in and it's tuning in and it's connecting, and it's letting your heart lead, and it's something that you just practice at. So thank you for sharing your magic and showing your magic to people. I mean, that's what it's all about. I love magic. I just think it's just
it's so fun.
It is.
I use the word dazzle a lot because it just dazzles me. And I hope that I never lose that sense of dazzle, whether it's, a lightning show in nature, or the feel of fresh grass on my bare feet, or, creating something like these financial coaching clients. And it's in connections and that serendipity,
Yes.
we really know what that is.
Yeah.
And it just feels like we have the power of the universe in us, because we do. And I love using that and my business brain and my financial brain and bringing them together in a new way, instead of thinking this is how it has to be. Like I did a workshop for a big Austin company that you can probably name, because there's only a few, well, there's a bunch of companies here, but there's only a few big ones.
Yeah.
But I did a webcast with them on using the creative premises during COVID, and specifically focused on no right way. Really being able to honor your own truth through this pandemic, and honoring other people's truth through this, and just really being able to relax. Again, that corporate way for me, what my experience was very rigid. There is a right way, there are rules, you must comply in order to get the prize. And to see all of the different ways and honoring your own truth, whether it's your career or your relationship or a pandemic or anything like that, and knowing that we have the power to create in the midst of this is just life-giving. And, just seeing more companies embrace this as something to serve their employees with, whether it's financial coaching or the meditation that we did to really help them seek what was true for them. While the world is saying, listen, if you don't Marie Kondo your entire house during this pandemic, then you were just lazy before. Or if you don't sit on the couch and Netflix and chill, then you are not doing your part to flatten the curve. Like these just societal
pressures.
Yeah. So it's been really fun for me to use what I've learned and what I've experienced to serve other people in that. It's a blast. Yeah, so weird for my brain.
It's just right. I assume that it totally would be, because the generalities that you put, even around finance. I mean, because I think of Dave Ramsey, and I think of like just
yes.
Tight. And
yes.
So that's just the mental image that I think. But you're talking about bringing magic into it, and creativity, and gosh, girl, I think you've really carved quite a nice niche for yourself.
I'm super excited. I can't even tell you, because like I said, I just love the people that I've learned from, and the principles and the structures. We know structure has integrity. Yes. And the structures that serve. However, you've got to really tap into the truth of things and what you would love. And I've done this retirement course a couple times of asking people and helping them envision, what does retirement look like for you?
Yeah.
And helping them dream a little bit and then backing into the finances around it, and, just giving them space. You've talked about it before on your webcast that we kind of lose that childlike ability to dream. And, I think the work that you're doing, that I'm doing, that Ellen's doing, it is to re-spark that and allow people to create new paradigms for success and to say out loud, publicly, without fear, this is my truth of what I would love. In retirement, in my relationships, in my finances, in my business. Like, I think about all the stuff that you do with Level. Oh my gosh. Is that how it's pronounced, Level?
It's Lavelle.
Okay.
Yeah, close enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But really, just like, I am a huge, massive fan of women owning their own businesses because the tax benefits are absurd.
They are. Yes.
I mean, come on. I mean, it's just like every woman should own her own business.
Right.
And I love that you're doing that and supporting people in that. I think it's phenomenal.
It's been a really incredible journey over the last 6.5 years. And I love watching, it's almost like you give someone permission to allow themselves to shine. And especially when they're feeling good, they have this opportunity to then, it just kind of starts to bubble out of them. So I have, that's been my favorite part of, being part of a direct sales business, is watching that little, so my friend Kim Glass, she calls it a life switch. And so watching that like life switch kind of turn back on. And then when they start, achieving things that, they didn't believe that they could achieve. And I'm like, yes, that's my favorite part, is it's the celebration of the journey,
Yeah.
So,
do you incorporate a lot of magic into the people on your team and helping them envision their sales goals as part of that?
I think that really, so my journey, probably started in yoga. That's how I started to silence my mind and all of that. But then getting into Lavelle, one of the CEOs, oh my goodness, what is her name? He's very big on, he calls it self-development. And so, he's very big on working on yourself as much as you're working on your business. And so, and I think that probably most direct sales businesses are that way. Yeah. And so they're all introducing magic in their own way, right? And so having that, that full belief in yourself and that full, kind of can-do attitude. And so I was on a call with him, and he was, just doing a regular team phone call, and he made this statement. Those who are achieving their goals are, kind of working on themselves as much as they're working on their business. And I thought, holy shit, I knew this. I'm like, I learned this in yoga. Why am I not, and so it really did it. It was the spark, right?
Yeah.
Those little whispers, that sometimes they come from us and sometimes they come from a friend or someone else, and they're just placed in your life at exactly the right time to speak magic into your life, right? Like the 4 agreements, right?
Yes.
Like magic. So, so that's how it, kind of started spurring for me. And then I just, kind of kept following and along, and then was introduced to Ellen. So, so I do teach, I do share on ways to create magic and, step into your own power, and you can create the life you want in that time.
Yeah. I think those creative premises of intuitively receiving the vision, understanding your current reality, and putting in that creative tension is so powerful in business. And I think as women, because we have that flow and that feminine energy, we bring that to our business, and to really tap into that and be able to consciously put that tension into your business and have those visions come from intuition and just seeing how your business builds in a non-corporate way. I have one of my clients, she measures her company's success via blessings. Like, that's how she
Oh,
I know. Like I'm coaching her, but let me assure you I'm learning so much from her. I'm like, I don't smoke, but I need a cigarette after.
right.
Wow.
Wow. That is,
Yes.
man, that's pretty powerful. I mean, yeah, wow. I like that a lot. Okay. Well, okay, I'll write it down later.
Hit it on the replay.
Yeah, I will. So, talk a little bit about expanding possibilities, the workshop that I'm in right now, and
Yes.
you are co-hosting.
Yeah, supporting Ellen in
Okay,
teaching
okay,
it. Yeah. So her company is all about teaching the creative premises and really helping people define a life that they love
right.
and really, again, naming it. Like sometimes you ask somebody, especially you ask a busy mom who's, 35 and, got a million plates spinning what she would love. And I don't know. So, the class of Unlock Your Cage is really about understanding that we have two paradigms from which we can create.
Right.
We can create from our spirit, which is again that intuition, that voice doing what we would love. You look at kids and they're always in spirit. They
Always.
make up these intricate games with all of these rules and they're like having the time of their lives. You ask them what they would love, macaroni and cheese. There's no hesitation. And
Yeah.
just like your phrase of before, who you were before, something beats that out of us, and that's our cage.
Mm,
And the cage represents all of our beliefs, our assumptions, our definitions, the conditions we think we need to get done before we can have what we love, the guilt,
yeah.
mm,
Right.
the expectations. Well, if I do this, then my husband has to do that. I mean, like,
Yeah.
and shining a light on that is what this course is all about. And really being able to understand those underlying assumptions that we may not even be conscious of, like I don't have enough resources, I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, I need to be perfect in order to get what I love, like all of these things. And it's also very, if you're an Enneagram freak, which I'm a little obsessed with, I'm like,
Yeah.
ooh, this is so juicy.
Right.
uh, really looking at those things and understanding, okay, I don't have to fix those, but I better name them so they don't trip me up. And so this course, the 6-week course that I'm supporting Ellen doing, is really about unlocking that cage. And then the next course is really about intentionally creating. And
Mm,
so it's been so fun. I'm learning a lot. And especially in supporting other people and kind of group dynamics and online courses. And it's been a blast. And I've got a couple workshops that, I'm like, taking notes while I'm like learning something. Oh, I've got to do that in my course.
absolutely. Yes.
It's just this continuous learning and I am loving it.
I love it too. It's interesting because the, traditional education model, I
Mm,
didn't thrive in at all. And I actually, frankly, quite struggled in school. And so, I mean, I passed, but by
yeah.
the hair of my chinny chin chin. So, and so I never, I thought, when I was, getting older, I was just like, yeah, it's just not, really my thing. And then now that I've gotten into having a life coach and, taking different courses and going to different seminars and those types of things, gosh, I just find it so rewarding. The expansion and kind of
Good word.
dropping those rules, right? Where the hell did those rules even come from?
Oh, it's crazy. Like we make them up. That's the absurd part. Like something happens to us and we make up these rules to try and figure out the way it is and how we're supposed to be and how to stay safe. That's our cage, our instincts. That's its whole job, is to keep us safe. And we just continue to believe in them and put power in them instead of choosing to put power in what we would love.
MacBook Pro 2.
Oh,
So my Alexa decided to
I mean, welcome, Alexa. Do you have any questions, Alexa?
right. She likes to tune in every now and again.
Sure.
So let's talk about your purpose. So live on purpose
with purpose.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I think, you know, in my corporate career, and even in my life in my 20s and 30s, I just spent so much time and energy people pleasing, doing what I think I should, performing in order to get what I wanted. And I avoided feeling at all costs. And so for me, it's about slowing down, listening. Like, I love spending time on my balcony. It's like I have an 1,100 square foot condo up in the sky. But my favorite square footage is like the 4 feet on my balcony to just go sit outside and be still and listen. And I think that we all have a purpose. Like, I don't know that I would have chosen financial coaching as my purpose. I'd rather it be like singing or, you know, but my gift was being able to hold space for people when they look at their finances. And I knew it for so long and denied it for so long and had so much fear. And so for me, it was about my own progression of living on purpose and my purpose to serve others in the way that I was created. I believe that I had all of these life experiences, you know, that seemed painful, but they served, or that were a really big learning experience, but they served. And so it's about being honest about that purpose, right, and choosing it and doing it. Like, I don't regret the years necessarily that I didn't pursue this. I don't think I could have. I wasn't in a place to do it. Sure. But I'm here now and I'm choosing it on purpose. And it is scary as all get out.
Right.
So scary. So scary. But, you know, like if you're a Brene Brown fan, it's about stepping into the arena. And, you know, there's so much power in that. And it's frightening. Yes. But if you can choose that every morning, that I'm going to go for what I love and live on purpose and have my purpose and live it out in action with love, with truth, there's no other way to live now. I don't think I can go back. I'm sure that you feel the same way.
Oh, yeah. I told a group of girls, so I take this intuitive class every couple of Thursdays. It's like every other Thursday. And I said, well, I popped the cherry with my family. And they all died laughing, and they're like, what should I go? I told them I was going to an intuitive class. I mean, and I've been doing this for a while, but you know, I never really said it out loud. I was on a Zoom happy hour driving to the class. Well, I was on Zoom in the car today too, but so I'm on Zoom and I'm like, yep, I'm heading to an intuitive happy hour. We don't actually even drink, but we call it an intuitive happy hour. And so
it's at the happy hour time.
Yeah, it's at the happy hour time. But you know, it's I feel like it just takes this practice of showing up for yourself, right? And
you're so right.
The more that you practice and the more that you do that heart connection and the more that you quiet your mind, it starts just becoming a little easier. But it doesn't mean that it's not scary and that there won't be something that shows up that tries to stop you in your tracks, right? Like I don't know why, I just got this visual of like this bull like standing there going, you really moving forward, you know? Because sometimes sometimes those fears can manifest in large ways. And so
we take ourselves out in all sorts of ways. And that's the always thing, you know, Ellen always describes it as levels on a video game. as you're spiraling up, because it's like the monster on level 1, you're like, oh, I know you, red monster, you're all hairy and gross. And then you Fibonacci up onto level 2 to the game, and you're like, what's this big black tall thing? Oh, it changes and morphs. And so, you're just constantly progressing through that. And that's what I love about being a coach, is watching people. I'm sure it's the same thing, like you were talking about that light switch, when that comes on, like seeing people move past something and create something intentionally that came from intuition.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm a crybaby, and you already know this about me because I cry at everything, like
Yeah.
all of the happy stuff, all of the sad stuff. I'm such a crier. But earlier last week, I was with one of my clients, and it's a gentleman that I coach, and he had such a breakthrough in his relationship with his daughter. Wrecked me. I just had to keep apologizing because tears were just streaming down my face.
You were so happy. You were letting your heart leak.
Oh, for real, all over that Zoom call. I mean, it was watery because and I still get verklempt thinking about it, because when people set that intention to build the relationship that they love, or to go for the career that they love, or to get the job that they want, or to live more authentically, whatever the choice is, seeing somebody achieve that, and I don't do anything. I am the container. I hold space for them. I'm the bumpers and say, look out, that's a negative vision, or have you thought about this? And just, they're creating it.
Yeah.
And the power is in them. I just am helping them uncover it. And there's just no better way to live.
It is. It's a beautiful thing to witness somebody's life switch come on. It really is, and that they have this power. All right. So let's talk about magic. So what is your definition of magic?
Good question. Magic is the power to create effortlessly. There is magic in so many things. I feel like God is magic. It's that there's a feeling of glitter. Like if you feel like glitter, it's like ding, 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 ding. That's what magic is. It is truly Disney magic for me, with all the sparkles and everything. But it's in a practical term for me, it is really the power to create effortlessly.
It's good. It's good. I always, often in meditations, I will envision myself, and I almost envision that my aura has like little glittery, sparkly magic, like shooting at people.
Yes.
Yeah, because this energy that we have, this opportunity to create, and this this love that we have to share, and this connection is it's such a beautiful thing if we allow it in. And and I think that some of our fears of rules that maybe we grew up with, our belief systems, they can get in the way at times. And that's really what I love about this group, because I think there's all different, everyone's on their own path and their own journey, but this Stay Wild Child group that we've created, it's just like it's so magical. But I watch different people in the group kind of going, oh, it's just their eyes start to sparkle, and they start to become aware, and it's a really cool thing. So I asked this group or asked this question in the Expanding Possibilities workshop the other day. So I know that Ellen had called out becoming aware during the week. And I'm like, I am so damn aware that I'm aware of my awareness. Oh, you guys are going. Yeah, I'm aware of my awareness. Like, I could not be any more aware.
Oh, for real. I had an incident like a couple weeks ago where I was literally, all of my shit was coming up. I mean, it was like on fire, dumpster fire, kind of all of this emotion. And not only was I experiencing it, I was the observer of it, watching the whole thing, watching all of my belief systems play out and experiencing at the same time. I'm like, this is a little meta and wild, but I'm like, this is crazy, but cool, you know, that I don't have to react to it, you know? Whew.
So, sorry, my dogs obviously.
But they're so cute.
Yeah, somebody's delivering a package and they're letting me know. My son was here today and I thought, oh, okay, there they go. The UPS man has left, apparently. So you're right. It's so just for a little tip on awareness. And you know, I think that right now the emotions are really high, and I think that, and I may be throwing you off here, and I hope that I'm not. This is something that I'm just
bring it on.
Okay, all right. So the emotions are high right now in the world, and you know, and I know that. Do you have any little magical awareness to bring to anyone who's maybe really caught in their emotions right now? Versus being aware of them, and they're taking actions on those feelings and actions on those emotions. Do you have anything with your little coaching hat?
Yeah. My little bumper sticker phrase is, when I start to spin, it's time to tune in. And when I say tune in, the first step of that is to name it. I literally will grab my journal. I'll stop what I'm doing because I can see myself in the midst of it. And you know it. You likely can sense it in your body. Like for me, my shoulders go up to my ears and my heart feels tight. Like that's how I experience tension in my body. And I've learned to notice when I'm like walking around with my shoulders up that, okay, take a breath. And even a couple of breaths, I know that's so simple and sounds trite, but it's to bring me back to present so I can consciously choose. And I just grab my journal, or I even say it out loud if I'm in the car and not writing or anything like that. But I have to name all of my stuff and say it out loud or write on the paper, to literally just name it. How I'm feeling, what I'm thinking, what beliefs are coming up, what I think is the right way, you know, all of that stuff until I feel empty. And I can get all of my ego out of the way.
Yes.
And listen to the truth. And, you know, in doing this work for 4 or 5 years, you know, you get faster and better at it.
Yeah.
But I think that awareness comes from being in your body.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's why you love all of, you know, your yoga and the sky acrobats.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like, it is about the intention of moving your body and being present in your body and noticing what's coming up for you and really finding a safe space to name it and honor it, so that you can make an intentional choice.
Yes, that's it. Intentional choice. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I felt my heart tighten up the other day, and I started getting flush, and it was interesting. I went to that little intuitive happy hour the next day.
Yeah.
And Andrea said, you know, God has given us this amazing gift. He's given us this body that we can't, it's a warning sign. It's, you know, and not everybody tunes in and listens, but it's this warning sign like, hey, something's going on here, something you need to pay attention to. And I did. I was aware enough to pay attention to it and stop. And I did exactly what you said. I took a few deep breaths, and it does. Some people, it sounds so simple. It's like, take a couple of breaths. Taking a couple of breaths just it's breathing in spirit.
Yes.
What is that? It's aloha. It's the breath in me honors the breath in you. And
Yeah.
so it's, it's that breathing in of that spirit and just allowing yourself just a moment. And I love that, the writing. Give your phrase one more time.
When you start to spin, tune in.
Tune in. Yeah.
Yeah. It's creating that gap for me. It's about getting in between the reaction
Yeah.
and my intentional action. It's kind of crawling into that small gap and making a conscious choice.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's, and it's just simply practice on all of this, because the intention thing, I've known it for so long, yet last year it was my word. Intention was my word. And so practicing it, implementing that intention, because there's some resistance behind intention.
Oh, girl, for real. And it shows up in 1,000 billion different ways. Oh, technology doesn't work, resistance. Car breakdown, resistance. Sleep in, resistance.
Yes. But this intention, it just, that's my whole goal, is just sharing with everyone this an intentional place that we can be in, and this magical life that we can create. And I feel so honored that, this idea, it came about. I spoke at a Quantum Revolution tour last year, and somebody suggested this. She said, "You're so good at connecting with people." She said, "Why don't you bring some women in to Stay Wild Child to talk?" And I was like, wow, that's brilliant. Yeah, I love connecting with people. And I've had this gift of connecting with all these women who are living in intention and creating the life they want and sharing their magic. And it's just, it's a really cool place to be.
Well, you're doing it, girl. And I watch the feed from the group and I'm like, yes, is it obnoxious to love everything that people post? I'm like,
They're cool.
and even your Care Bear stuff, which is one of my nicknames as, a Carrie. And it's just like that heart energy, it is a real thing. And just sending love and light to people, it's a real deal and it makes a difference.
It does. And, and it takes, for me, I had to practice at opening my heart. I had a guard up.
Yeah.
And so I didn't realize it, but I'm like, I've always cared about people, I've always had this care, but I also had to practice at allowing it to open, protecting it, but also allowing it to open and allowing to listen to the whispers, because this mind can, it's got some shit to say. But you know what? I love my ego, because my ego,
Yes.
my ego likes a little bit of fashion, and my ego likes, and so, I'm like, okay, hey girl, we're going to make you happy too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
our ego is there to service as well, and we can have it all. Like, that was one of my big ahas, is that I didn't have to be one thing.
right.
Like I was like, well, am I a creative life coach or am I a financial coach? I'm both. It is the power of and I'm a speaker, and we can do all things.
Yeah, the power of and. I like it.
It's delicious.
It is delicious. Good word. Well, Carrie, thank you so much for joining me today. And I am going to have you post all of the ways that people can contact you after we finish this, because I love that you brought the magic into finances. It's like it takes the because talking about money sometimes, and you think all these ideas come in your brain that about what those conversations are going to be like, right?
The stories people have around money.
Yeah. But you're adding magic and creation to it. And God, that's a dead gum sweet spot. I love it.
So excited.
Bravo, my dear.
Thank you.
Bravo.
And
Yes.
thank you for inviting me, Nicole. I mean,
Sure.
I'm just so excited to be a part of your community and to be a part of what you're doing in helping people, helping women remember who they are before the
Yeah,
world told them who they had to be.
absolutely, girl. Thank you so much.
Mm,
And of course, we'll be on YouTube. This will be on YouTube, and you can share it with all your friends. And yeah, just post your contact info because I know there's going to be people who want to reach out to you.
awesome. Thank you, sister.
Thanks, friend.
Namaste.
All right. Namaste.